morning, everybody. Welcome to Scripts and Roleplay.
Good morning.
Yes, I can switch gears that fast. So, to those of you who are jumping on right now, we're gonna probably change the scripting time in the morning to 8. They want to reduce it to 8 to 8:30 to do that ramp up and roleplay all together, so get you guys going faster. So make sure you don't miss it. We're gonna move it back. So following the website. Give me just a second. My tile guy needs me.
Well, while he's dealing with his tile guy, I'll take over for a quick second. Who wants to share a win for the day? I know it's only 8:34, but anybody? I showered. That was my win.
I went for a 45-minute walk.
Good for you. That's awesome.
Yeah, I've been doing that daily. I've got a 75-day plan to do it every day.
Awesome.
Good for you.
That is wonderful.
I have a challenge for you.
Okay.
You want to throw that into a 66-day challenge? I realize that 66 versus 75, but why not keep it going from today?
Yeah, sure. I would take you up on that.
Here's the deal. I need to do it too. So could we hold each other accountable?
When are we starting, sister?
Today.
Today?
I grossly underestimated the amount of steps I walked in the office, and quarantine has not been helpful.
I'll do it with you. Yeah. Challenge accepted. Where's Dan? I need a witness.
He's dealing with the tile guy. I'll keep him posted. He's dealing with the tile guy, man. So who else has a win for the day?
I have buyers that need to close in 30 days.
Who's got
Buyers? Go ahead.
Tracy, your dog's adorable.
Awesome.
Yes, you are. I'm sorry if there's a dog or a child on the call. I'm like a squirrel. I'm like, ooh, shiny thing. So.
Yeah, that's Rocket.
Oh, hi, Rocket. Alrighty, who else has a win for the day?
I'm excited. I got a new buyer yesterday, and they're wanting to move anywhere around the Tucson area. So that gives me a nice wide window. And I already sent her, because their price point is between $450 and $500, which is awesome. And anyway, I already sent her like 6 that she wants to be identical to the one they just sold. But it was down in Sierra Vista, so they want to be closer to Tucson. So that gives me a nice pattern. I just look at the one she sold. I find houses that are hopefully almost identical with all the features. So I'm excited about that.
Did you share your app with her?
I put her on the MLS portal, and I haven't done the app yet, but that's going to be today. I'm also going to send her my buyer, employment agreement and get her set up on .loop.
Awesome. Hey, Dan, sorry, I took over for you.
No, it's all good. I appreciate it because that just helps me out. This is the team effort. This is what PCs do.
Hope and I are doing a 66-day challenge for a 45-minute walk every day. So
that's awesome. I love it.
So
yesterday on the call, like yesterday's team meeting, Pat Mancuso gave us that guide of stuff to go through. It says, today I am committed to, we actually said, I am committed to change blank. And then it said today, which I really like it because it challenged Jason to hit a breakthrough, and I loved it. But one thing is the scripts we're telling ourselves. This is scripting and role play. That 66-day challenge yourself to do a new habit every day. Let's do that. Do a new script every day for 66 days. Learn it. One script, 66 days. You think you're going to internalize it?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it, Tess. She's got her 66-day challenge there. Woo! What is yours going to be, Tess?
Send it to me.
Started off with making sure I put my planner together, and it's checking my planner every single morning.
Okay. Having a schedule and following it. I like it.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, let's actually get into some scripting and real play, guys. I want to make sure we respect our calendar times. Yesterday, we had a really good course. It really kind of fine-tuned in on the setting of appointments and actually having that scripting to work through that. as well as discussing with, different buyer types on how to gain agreement to get them to sit with you. Anyone have a topic you want to touch on today, or something that yesterday you guys had a challenge with?
I do have one yesterday. I had a FISBO yesterday.
Okay.
I'd like to be him because I was on the phone for, I don't know, probably a good 25 minutes. So he definitely wanted to talk, but it was really hard to get him to agree to an appointment. So who's going to be my agent?
Agent?
Tracy's got the agent.
Tracy!
So let me ask you, was he Czechoslovakian?
Actually, I think he was from the East Coast. I think he was New Yorkan. That's what
I
he
was
was.
just making sure it was the same guy. It wasn't the same guy I talked to yesterday.
I love that you guys call the same people. Like,
I have the appointment.
Yeah, that's the difference. He got the appointment.
So I'm calling you, right?
Yes.
Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hello. I'm looking for the owner of the home that's for sale.
You mean on Smith Avenue?
Yes.
Yeah, that's me.
Hi, my name's Tracy Castell. I'm with Keller Williams. I know you have been inundated with realtor calls, so I just want to take a moment of your time and ask you a couple questions if you can tell me about your house.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, I have actually had a few phone calls about it. Not really sure what I'm going to do with it, but yeah, I've had a lot of realtors call me.
You say you're not sure what you're going to do about it. Can you tell me why you say that?
Well, I put it on Zillow, maybe about a week or so. He goes, I just kind of wanted to see what would happen, see what it would do. But I'm not really in any hurry at all. I just wanted to test the waters and see how it would go.
So you're not in a hurry. I see that it's a 3-2. I'm just making this up, Angela. I see that it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I'm seeing it on Zillow, and you said you put it up on a week ago. How many phone calls have you gotten on it?
Oh, I don't know. Well, maybe a couple.
Just a couple?
Mm-hmm.
I would have suspected that you had been inundated with phone calls from realtors.
No, I've talked to a couple of them. I have one that I do want to talk to this one because they said they would only charge me 3% commission.
They would only charge you 3%. Oh, that's great. That's typical for what on the listing side, what a listing agent would charge for their services. So let me ask you a couple questions. You say you're just testing the water. How did you come up with your pricing and your price point?
I just checked some houses around my area and looked at what, mine had and compared to theirs and square footage and size. And I said, okay, well, I think I can get $199.5 for it.
$199.5?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what websites did you use to do that?
I just went online to like Zillow and just, searched the area.
Yeah, everybody uses Zillow. So you're testing the market. What's prompting you to put the house on the market right now?
Well, my goal is that I'll end up being able to live in Reno.
Oh, you're moving to Reno. When are you moving to Reno?
I don't know. I live in California right now and it's really expensive, but I'm not in any hurry. I mean, the house is paid off. I've got a renter, but it's someday I wouldn't mind living in Reno.
So you have a tenant in the house right now. How are you doing showings? Are you showing the house?
No. All I've done is listed it on Zillow just to see if I could get any kind of response. I'm not showing it. I'm going to talk to the renters this week.
Okay.
I actually talked to them a while ago. They've been there for 6 years, and I talked to them a few months ago, letting them know that I was thinking about selling it. And I'm going to talk to them again, just to kind of let them know that I'm thinking about it. But what I need a realtor to understand is that I'm not just going to kick them out. If they need to stay, then that realtor needs to find me a buyer that's okay with waiting until I can, they can find a place to live.
So what I'm hearing you tell me is that you are looking for potentially an investor that will continue the rent and continue to keep your tenants happy. Is that right?
No, I'm okay with the tenants having to move out. That's what I'm going to talk to them about again, is that
Okay.
at some point I'm going to sell it and they may have to move out.
So what's your lease agreement with your tenants say?
Well, right now they're on a month to month, but you know,
Is it on a month?
with this whole COVID thing, I don't think I can even get them out if I wanted to. You know, they could turn around and say that, you know, if I try to evict them, then they might sue me or something.
Oh, okay. So let me ask you a question. How much are you charging them rent right now? What's their rent?
Oh, honestly, I don't have a mortgage on this place, so I charge them about $900.
All right, Angela, real just out of role play, did you ask that question? Are
No,
those real numbers?
I didn't
Okay.
ask that.
All right.
But I know
Moving
that
on.
he doesn't have a mortgage, though.
It does not have a mortgage?
He does not have a mortgage. That's why he's in no hurry.
Okay. All right, back to role play. So I hear you're charging them about $900. Have you approached them about purchasing the house?
You know, I did actually, and he did. I mentioned that maybe they could lease to own, but they weren't interested in doing that.
So you are willing to do a lease to own option?
Well, I was with them because they've been such good renters, but right now I'm just kind of playing with the idea that I might want to sell it someday, but I'm really just not in a big hurry. Right now I think I need to talk to the renters and just let them know that I'm thinking about it. And then I need to call that realtor that said I only have to pay 3% commission, because I really should talk to them about that.
Well, quite honestly, my program that I have in place only charges you 3%. So on the listing side, so I could help you out with that. I'd like to talk to you about that a little bit more, but let me find out more about what your goals are. I want to see if I can help you get to your end goal. And I don't hear any large commitments about, you're just testing the market right now, and you're seeing what's out there. You're obviously an investor. Are you going to be taking this money that you get from the sale of the house and moving it into another investment, or what are you going to do with that?
Well, when I sell it, then that's when I'll probably buy something in Reno.
Are you going to live in Reno, or are you going to use that as an investment?
No, I'm going to live in Reno. So I'll
Okay.
probably sell it and then live in Reno.
And you're living in California right now. Are you going to be selling your house in California, or do you own the house?
I'm just renting in California right now, and it's really expensive. My question is that you're saying that there'll be a 3% commission on the listing side.
That's correct.
But isn't there also a 3% commission on the buyer side? Like if
that would be correct. Yes.
So see, that's where I think this realtor is doing something different. If I sell it through them, I don't have to pay an additional 3%, because I'm going to be I'm going to be the seller, and they already have a buyer for me. They told me
they have a buyer. Okay.
They have a buyer for me, and they would only charge me 3%.
Have you gotten information about that buyer, a pre-qualification?
Not yet. That's what I need to do this week. I need to follow up with them. I'm going to follow up by Friday and see, because I'm not really sure yet.
Okay. Can I ask you who the realtor was that called you and what company they're with?
Long Realty.
Okay. All right. Well, great. Now, all right, out of role play. At this point, if a FSBO tells me that they have an agent that's going in, I will back off. And the reason I back off is I'm going to let them play out, because I suspect they don't have a buyer, and they're going to get a ruse. But I do plan a seed, so I'll go back right into role play. So let me ask you something, Angela. When that agent called you with their buyer, are they going to be bringing the buyer by this weekend? Is that right?
No, we didn't talk about them bringing the buyer, because I have a renter in there right now. So until I talk to the renter to find out if I can even show the house, some people may say that I'm just a little bit too easy on my renter. I know they're the renter, but they're really good renters, and I don't, I don't want to ruffle any feathers with them. So I would like to talk to them and let them know what my plan is, and then talk to the realtor and then go from there.
Okay, great. Well, let me, at this point, I think the next step for me and you at this point is to have you get in touch with your tenant and talk to them about potentially selling, and if they're willing to purchase the house, and then you to reach out to that other agent and get that other buyer in there. So what I want to make sure happens for you and that you're protected is that that other agent is really bringing another buyer in, and to take a look at your house. So my recommendation is for you to reach out to your tenant, call them, talk to them about that, get all that lined out, talk to that other agent, schedule an appointment for them to bring that buyer in to take a look at the house, because if they're not even qualified, or they may not even like the house, so you don't know if this is a real buyer for you. And at that point, what I like to do is set up an appointment with you to give you a call and follow up with you on Saturday evening to see how all that played out, if that's okay.
Perfect.
All right, great. What time? On Saturday evening, is there a good time on Saturday evening? I'm going down the road with Dan. I'm thinking Dan in my head right now.
Saturday's not bad. I would say probably around 4 o'clock would be good.
Perfect. I will give you a buzz at, how about 4:15? Does that work best for you?
No, I like 4:30.
4:30. All right. I'll work 4:30 with you. So I will give you a call 4:30 at Saturday afternoon. In the meantime, I would love to be able to send you just my contact information. That way I'm a real agent and you can check out my website. If I can send you an email, I'd greatly appreciate it. So if you can give me your email, I will send that over to you right now.
Sure. It's blah, 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 blah.com.
Perfect. I get that all the time. That's a great address. All right, Angela, I thank you for your time, and I look forward to talking to you on Saturday and following up with you.
Sure. Sounds good. So that was good, and I feel like I feel really good that I feel like I hit a lot of the points. I of course I didn't ask about how much they were paying for rent, but I hit a lot of the points, and like at the end when you said you backed off a little bit once he said he had a realtor. I didn't really question him about the type of buyer. If I didn't really dig into the buyer. So that would have been kind of nice to kind of make him think, okay, great, they have a buyer, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to qualify. They're going to like the house, right? So that is, and I did set a time to talk with him again. He gave me everything, his phone number, his email, everything. So I have a lot of good information. So I think I did pretty good, because he no matter what, he was just not going to give it to me on that phone call. I nurtured it really. I feel like I nurtured it pretty well, that he still wanted to talk to me and he was willing to give me information. But yeah, I think I will work on finding more out about this realtor and the buyer, just to make sure he understands in reality that might not be the end all,
I have a question. You mentioned that your renter is a fantastic renter a lot. Would it be okay to, since you're so much into your renter, Tracy mentioned it at first, of possibly selling them the house, and then you were talking about a lease to own, but then could you, Tracy, also go in and say, let's talk to your tenants now and see if I can get them qualified to purchase this house. That way you already have a buyer and you guys can do it on that time.
I hope I didn't mention that. I was thinking about it in the back of my head to go there with that. And I hope I planted enough seed that when I follow up on Saturday night, hey, did you talk to your tenants? They're paying $900 a month. If they're really interested in it, let's get them qualified, and I can get you in touch with a mortgage originator, LO, and have them talk to that person to see if they really are qualified to make this purchase for you.
So
I guess what my
question.
What's that?
My question would be like how a lot of times like Dan will say, well, bring your wife in. This conversation, to me, it would be almost like including the tenants into it as if they were part of the relationship, since this person values them so much as a tenant, to be
Oh, I see. Yeah.
say, hey, can you as a realtor also coordinate that conversation with the tenants and them, so you're all on the same page.
Yes.
Yeah, that would have been, yeah, bingo.
I like that. I'll use that when I call him back. I will ask that question about the tenants. The only thing he seemed concerned with is his tenants having to move out and go somewhere else. So my overcoming that objection was that I could help them find, if they wanted to rent again, I could easily find them another home to rent. So I'll have to go that other way though, and see if I don't know why he's not even thought of them as someone that could buy it. There might be a reason.
Did you ask him that question?
I didn't. That's what I think I'm going to have to go back and ask, because we didn't go that way.
Yeah, I apologize. I didn't hear why his motivation for selling the house was.
Eventually, he's going to move to Reno, but
Okay.
he lives in California now. But he's just not. He's not in any hurry because the house is paid for. So he's not losing. He doesn't feel like he's losing anything by holding on to it.
So what was the moving to Reno? What does selling this house do for him?
I think it will get him out of California and get him to Reno where he could buy something.
Not you think. You want to know, what does selling this house do for you towards that goal?
I don't know if I asked it like that, but what's so funny is Dan was in my head when I was talking to him at one point, and I was like, oh my gosh, Angela, circle back and acknowledge what he just said.
So all I heard right there was it's working. That's all I heard. It's working. Scripting is working.
Yeah, it's funny.
Tracy just said it. Dan was in my head about the appointments. You were like, circle back. Dan was in my head. That's awesome, because that needs to be like, this is what's from. It's not me. It's Keller Williams. I'm just the projector of it. Those are the things like, oh crap, I forgot this. I need to circle back and get that information. But like we said, the motivation is to moving to Reno. He lives in California, so the house selling doesn't do anything for him other than monetarily.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe he's just tired of, having a renter. When you find out, what's selling the house here in Tucson going to do for your goal to move to Reno? Well, it gives me the money to buy something else. Now you know.
Well, that's what I got out of him. I did. I asked him, I said, because I had it written down, I said, so what is your plan? If you were to sell this house tomorrow, what would change in your life? And he said, well, I would move to Reno. He goes, I love it there. And I said, oh, where are you now? And he goes, oh, I'm in California and it's really expensive. So, but I think he's very torn. He's very attached to the renters. He doesn't want to hurt their feelings and he doesn't want to throw them out. He thinks he's going to get sued if he thinks he's evicting them. I said, well, if they're month to month, you're not evicting them. You're just giving them proper notice in writing that, they have to leave. So that's not you evicting. He goes, well, but then they could turn around and say, this is going to be a hardship and they could use the whole COVID thing on me. And I was like, he was just had an excuse after an excuse after an excuse. But something, he wants to sell it. He does. Otherwise, why would you waste the time even putting it on Zillow and talking to multiple realtors if you aren't, he wants to get rid of it at some point. It's just just can't pin him down yet.
Yeah, there's a reason. There's a reason that he's entertaining it, because you got to go back. There's a reason. Like nobody just comes to the store to shop, or no one just comes to look around. There's a reason they're there.
Yes.
I've never met somebody who was bored and decided to sell their house.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? I got nothing better to do on this Saturday. Fuck it, let's sell this house. Let's put it up on Zillow. Cool.
Yeah.
And I will challenge Tracy on that one thing when he's like, everybody uses Zillow. Kind of a dig. You don't want to use it. Be jokingly about it. Like, oh, that's awesome. So you got the Zestimate, right? Well, yeah, it's a Z estimate. The A in Zillow is for accurate, right? Everyone that just caught that lit up right now. But that's why you gotta break down break down a wall. And remember this, they cannot be afraid of you if they're laughing with you. So if you're having resistance, like you were, not getting an engagement, not getting the appointment, not being able to move the conversation further, is because there's a fear base there where they're like, no, I'll still talk to her, I'll be friendly, but I'm going to keep him at a distance.
Mhm.
Hey, Angela, I think I know who you talked to. I sent it to you in private message. I left him a message yesterday.
His name was Lopez.
Dennis?
No, oh my God, I talked to a Ronnie Lopez and a Mike Lopez.
Yeah, I see
think
it on my
Ronnie
list here.
Lopez- Oh my gosh.
Voicemail. Uh-oh, that means I got to start calling right after we hang up here.
That's not nice.
That's right. I got 2 appointments yesterday, so I'm happy.
I love it.
Hey Dan, on that, also the way it sounds, he living in California and wants to move to Reno. Could it be just an ego thing of like, oh, well, I got a home in Tucson and this is worth this, blah, 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 since it's really not costing him anything to do on Zillow? Is that something that could come up?
Yeah,
Like
absolutely. So absolutely. All right, guys. Well, a lot of us at 9 o'clock, so we need to start cutting this back down. Takeaways from it: circle back, find motivation, build rapport, ask for the appointment again. If they say no again, circle back, build rapport, go deeper on motivation, and then, Angela, I'm asking you, and then what do you do?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking to Tracy right now.
Oh.
If you can't share it with the class, don't talk about it. But let me read the note to the
I'm
class.
encouraging here.
Yes, he's giving me motivation.
Again, if they say no to the appointment, circle back to motivation, build rapport, and then do what?
Ask again.
Ask again. Okay. Ask no less than 3 times.
Can do.
Great.
All right, you beautiful people, have a fantastic Thursday. Thursday is Greek for have a great day. Don't quote me on that, but that's all I need. You guys be well.
You too, Dan.